Way back in 1913, a small biplane landed at Cluden Racecourse, and it was such a wonderment that the Townsville City Council organised trains to carry people out to view the aircraft. The actual first flight, passenger-wise, carried the mayors of Cairns, Townsville, Charters Towers, Bowen. They came from miles around to ride on the aircraft from Murray Flats to Garbutt Airport. That was the total flight, and that was in 1939. My first role was a customer service officer, serving in the city at first and then at Townsville Airport, 1976. Description of the terminal in the very old days was a set of stairs, a water cooler inside, Ansett, TAA, a free taxi phone, and a bar downstairs called the Dungeon, where you could get a beer 24 hours a day. Easily the most exciting was back in very late in 1980, just before 1990, 7 jumbos actually landed here. I was called to work at 3:30 in the morning and had a horrendous sight as it was, because I was to be the aerobridge driver. We had people like Malaysian, KLM, Qantas, Singapore Airlines, all lined up one behind the other because Cairns airport was flooded. Brisbane Airport had a fuel strike and Sydney Airport was fogged in. So we unloaded those passengers. We put fresh food supplies on and fuel and sent them on their way, and all that transpired over a period of 4 hours. It was very exciting. Some of the most famous people that I met were Lady Di, Fergie, Charlie Pride, Dolly Parton, Jeannie Little, Pat Cash, any number of them. They were lovely people to deal with. Jeannie Little came up to me and said, "Darling, do you have a ticket for me?" I said, "Oh, certainly, Jeannie, I've got one here." I handed it to her and she said, "Oh, I don't travel economy class." And I said, "Well, Jeannie, I'll just read a little caption off the computer. It's from your husband. Mr. Little says that there's no way that he'll be paying business class for you." She said, "Give me the ticket here." And she says, "The bastard." And we've had a myriad of planes here during the war.
I started at Ansett in 1978. A good friend of mine, colleague Max Riley, he found me a part-time job, just sorting out the leftover assets that belonged to Ansett. Not long after that, they offered me a full-time job. Some of the highlights would be like the air shows that were conjointly put on between the defence and the civilian aircraft operators were very good, and we had a number of those over the years. To simple things like being able to help somebody in trouble or do something right for them and make their day a little bit better.
My first memory of Townsville Airport is when we flew here on holiday to visit friends who were from Nelson also, who live here. And we came for a week's holiday. In that time we got my husband a job, found somewhere to live, decided we were going to come here to live, and went back and gave our notice. Yeah, I enjoy the airport. My father worked at the airport back in New Zealand, and I actually had my 21st birthday party in an airport. I think it's the people. The people are the important thing here.
I love the fact that it's so diverse. One day I might be working on bird and wildlife hazard management issues, and the next day I'll be working on a sustainability project, and then the next day again I'll be looking at urban storm water quality. So very rarely am I working on the same general topic more than a day or two in a row. So the diversity of the role is, I guess, the key attraction. One of the interesting projects I'm involved with now is the Town Common Revitalisation project. I'm really excited that TAPL have gotten together with Townsville City Council on this project.
What I enjoy most about my job is the diversity. I've had a long affiliation with aviation. My grandfather was a pilot for Cathay Pacific, So I think I got kind of the aero bug from him.
Look, I'm an accidental aviation executive. I wandered into the head office of a company called Air New Zealand looking for a job out of university. Had to borrow a coat for an interview, got the job, and since then have had experiences that I think anyone in aviation will say are typically amazing, rewarding, challenging, and the strong sense I get is that you make a difference.